Hey Eberdorn, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt that magical pool of nostalgia? That feeling of connection to something much older than yourself? I had an experience like that just last week, and it all started with a simple, dusty old box I found in my grandma's attic. It was tucked away in a corner, almost forgotten. A plain wooden box with a tarnished brass latch. I almost walked right past it, but something made me stop. It felt like it was whispering secrets from the past. My grandma has always been the heart of our family, a living library of stories. But as she's gotten older, some of those stories have started to fade, like old photographs left in the sun. Seeing this box, I felt a jolt of excitement. What if it held the stories that time was trying to steal? With a little click, the latch gave way, and the scent of old paper and cedarwood filled the air. My heart was pounding. I had no idea that opening this lid was like opening a door to a world I never knew existed. A world where my family's history was waiting to be rediscovered. The first thing I saw was a stack of letters, tied together with a faded blue ribbon. The handwriting was elegant, a beautiful cursive I recognized from old birthday cards. These were letters my grandpa wrote to my grandma while he was stationed overseas during the war. I'd always known Grandpa as a quiet, gentle man who loved gardening. But in these letters, he was a young man, full of passion, fear, and a deep, unwavering love for the woman who was waiting for him back home. He wrote about the strange foods he tried, the friends he made, and the starry nights that made him feel so far from everything he knew. But every letter ended the same way. All my love, forever and always. To my dearest Rose. Reading his words, I saw a side of him I'd never seen before. A romantic, a poet, a young man dreaming of his future. It was like meeting him for the first time all over again. Beneath the letters, I found a small, velvet pouch. Inside was a single, tarnished, silver locket. It was heart-shaped, with intricate floral engravings. I carefully opened it, and my breath caught in my throat. On one side was a tiny, black and white photos of my grandma as a young woman, her smile so bright and full of hope. On the other side was a photo of a man I didn't recognize. He was handsome, with kind eyes and a confident smile. Who was he? This wasn't my grandpa. A wave of confusion and curiosity washed over me. I felt like a detective who had just stumbled upon a crucial, unexpected clue. The locket was worn, clearly cherished for many years. It held a story, a mystery that wasn't in any of the family albums I had ever seen. Later that day, I brought the box downstairs to my grandma. She was sitting in her favorite armchair, looking out of the garden. When she saw the box, her eyes lit up with a spark I hadn't seen in a long time. "Oh, my," she whispered, her hand trembling slightly as she reached for it. I thought this was lost. I showed her the locket, and a soft, bittersweet smile touched her lips. "That," she said, her voice filled with a gentle warmth, "was Michael. My first love." She told me the story of a teenage romance. A sweet, innocent love that was cut short when his family moved across the country. They wrote letters for a while, but eventually, life pulled them in different directions. "He was a beautiful memory," she explained. A part of her story that led her to eventually meet my grandpa, the true love of her life. It wasn't a secret she was hiding, just a chapter of her life she hadn't thought about in decades. As we continued to sort through the box, we found more treasures. There was a recipe for apple pie written on a grease-stained napkin, a recipe my great-grandmother brought with her from the old country. Grandma laughed and said that pie was the reason Grandpa proposed. We found a dried corsage from her high school prom, its petals as fragile as old paper. There was a concert ticket from her first date with Grandpa, a tiny baby shoe that belonged to my mom, and a newspaper clipping announcing my dad's graduation. Each item was a puzzle piece, and with every piece we uncovered, the picture of our family's past became clearer, richer, and more vibrant. It wasn't just a collection of old things. It was a timeline of love, laughter, challenges, and triumphs. Sitting there with my grandma, surrounded by these echoes of the past, I realized something profound. Our family history isn't just a list of names and dates in a dusty old book. It's a living, breathing story, passed down through generations in the form of letters, recipes, and trinkets, kept in a secret box. These objects are vessels of memory, tangible connections to the people who came before us and shaped who we are today. They remind us that our own lives are just one chapter in a much larger, ongoing story. Learning about their hopes, their dreams, and their struggles made me feel more connected to them and to myself than ever before. It gave my own life a deeper context and a sense of belonging. This whole experience has inspired me to start my own secret box. I want to preserve the small, everyday moments that seem insignificant now but will one day become precious memories. A ticket stub from a movie, a funny note from a friend, a photo from a perfect summer day. I encourage you to do the same. Talk to your parents, your grandparents. Ask them about their stories. Look in the attics, the basements, the forgotten corners of your homes. You might be surprised by the treasures you find. These aren't just old objects. They are the keys to understanding where you come from and the incredible legacy you are a part of. Create your own time capsule for future generations to discover. Because in the end, it's these stories that truly define us. They connect us, they teach us, and they remind us that we are all part of something much bigger than ourselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this little journey into my family's past. I hope it inspires you to explore your own. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more adventures. I'd love to hear in the comments if you've ever found a family treasure of your own. Until next time, take care and keep searching for those stories.